Hi guys, Welcome to the briefing for this first stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and it harbors no particular difficulties. A sprint finish is more than likely. We don't have what it takes to be in the final sprint. If we want to make a showing, we'll have to be in the early breakaway. Have a good...
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. For this stage, which is in the form of a circuit, it's a safe bet that the sprinters will do their utmost to cross the line in front on their second visit to Precojo, the end of this flat stage.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration. The breakaway threatens the overall standings. He's decided to get his guys to put their foot down.
One minute for the breakaway. It's looking good. He's primarily a teammate rouleur, even if he's not too bad on a sprint.
He doesn't seem to want to let you have more of a lead, and his teammates are pushing hard. It's going to be a game of cat and mouse.
The first climb of the day is classified as fourth category. There will be 1 point that goes towards the mountain standings.
Here's the positions over the last climb.
His best chance of victory is to try a breakaway from far out.
They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
Watch out for him. If he gets away, he can go all the way.
He's the fastest sprinter in the leading group. You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race.
The breakaway is losing ground. The front of the race is going through Precojo. On the second trip, it will be the finishing line for the stage.
Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint. His teammates are accelerating. They're no doubt readying the intermediate sprint.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The riders are now entering the feed zone. They will be able to pick up something to eat.
Your breakaway companions look like they want to up the pace. You are 2 kilometers from the top. You seem to be the best puncher in the group. You should be able to move to the front.
Allez, plus vite, plus vite.
You were first over the top of the climb. That's good.
Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. You'll have to up the pace. His team is moving into the driving seat behind. The peloton is 1 minute 30 behind you.
The final climb of the day will soon be upon us. After this final 4th category climb, there will be 20 kilometers to the finish. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. Looks like the breakaway still has some gas left. It's still able to widen the gap.
I'll relay.
Allez les gars.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration. I'll relay.
The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute. The peloton is 1 minute away.
I'll relay.
You have 30 seconds on the peloton. 10 kilometers. You'll have trouble seeing it through to the end.
I'll make a big effort on the relay.
5 kilometers. It's going to be tight.
Only 3 kilometers left. The peloton is bearing down on the escapees.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
Last kilometer. You've got to sprint. Watch out. You're not going to be able to attack for much longer.
We can say that everything is going well for him at the moment.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. Today there's a short time trial on the program. Unsurprisingly, an excellent rouleur should claim victory. Let's be clear, our chances of getting into the top 10 are slim. Try to limit the damage.
We have the last rider at the start of this individual time trial. He'll do his utmost to produce the best time. Come on, let's give him a hand.
Come on, it's a short time trial. You must hit the right tempo as soon as possible. Go, go! Stick to the tempo! Watch out, right-hand bend. After the left-hand bend, you will come to a rising false flat. Don't push it too hard.
Continue comme ça. Allez. Allez, plus vite.
Flat out now. It's downhill almost to the finish. Save something for the last kilometer, which climbs. The next bend turns left. Go, go! Go! Only 1 kilometer left. It's a rising false flat. Come on! It's almost over! Go! Right to the end!
He tops the standings and will receive the traditional honors. Here.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. It's the final stage, guys. The profile is special, with one major difficulty that should decide between the climbers. The scenario looks to be simple, and everything should be settled on the final...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We should witness a one-climb race today. The teams of the favourites should manage affairs up to the foot of the Montagne de Lure, from where the front-runners will fight it out to the stage win.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration. Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy to attack. The head of the virtual overall standings is ours. But don't get carried away. The stage is still long. Okay, I'll wait for you.
The first climb is set close to the start. It should allow the baroudeurs to launch the early breakaway. He's primarily a teammate rouleur, even if he's not too bad on a sprint. He's after the points classification. He's an excellent puncher who also knows how to climb in the mountains. On the other hand, it's better for him that he finishes alone because his capabilities as a sprinter really are limited. He's a good puncher. You must keep a close eye on him on short climbs. He's a good climber puncher over any kind of obstacle.
It is not always a good idea to be too many in a breakaway, as the others will not necessarily want to cooperate with us.
He's a very good puncher who also rides very well on the flat. The first King of the Mountains summit is classified as a Category 3. There will be 2 points and 1 point to be scored at the top.
You should perhaps be waiting for the group behind. It will be easier if there are several of you.
Allez, vas-y. Allez, on te suit là, on est là, on te suit. Allez.
Ouais. Plus vite.
Oui, allez, vas-y. Courage.
Vas-y.
Vas-y. Allez, on lâche rien. Allez, on y va. Encore.
You're 2 kilometers from the summit. Go on, another push!
Le maillot à poids.
Excellent. You increase your lead on the overall climber standings. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
The first rider in the intermediate sprint will earn 20 points towards the green jersey.
You're coming up to the intermediate sprint. Keep your eyes open. Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint. He's the best placed in the overall standings amongst those at the head of the race. When going downhill, the aerodynamic position is useful to increase speed without expending energy.
Continue comme ça. Allez, vas-y, fonce. Allez. Plus vite. Hop. Allez. Plus vite. On lâche rien. Allez. Hop. Allez. On te suit.
Okay, I'll consume a feed. You're 2 kilometers from the summit. Go on, another push.
Plus vite. Allez. Bravo. Fonce. Allez.
Excellent. You increase your lead on the overall climber standings.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The feed zone is in sight for the head of the race. Riders will be able to pick up some nourishment.
There's not a lot going on. If this was a video game, I'd advance the clock to the last difficulty. The tempo is increasing at the head of the race. The breakaway riders will try and manage the time gap. The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit. Here's the positions over the last climb.
The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey.
I don't know if it's a bluff, but the breakaway looks to be increasing the pace at the front of the race.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
Courage! Allez, les gars, courage!
The time gap with the head of the race isn't changing, lads. Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall.
Allez, les gars, courage! Bravo, les gars!
The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey.
He's the new leader of the overall youth standings.
The gap between the favourites group and the front is 30 seconds.
He's being left behind. It's good news for the overall standings.
The lead rider has 30 seconds on the favourites.
For now, he's the virtual yellow jersey.
Watch out, there's an attack. He's attacking.
He takes the virtual lead of the overall standing.
Watch out, there's an attack. He's attacking.
He's got his teammates riding because in front there's a rider who's dangerous to him in the overall standings.
Lâchez rien, allez. Continuez comme ça, allez.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars, courage.
Allez les gars, courage.
Bravo les gars. Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Continuez. Ça, allez.
Bravo les gars.
New provisional leader, guys.
Allez, courage les gars, allez plus vite. Continuez comme ça les gars, on est avec vous.
Allez les gars.
On y va. Bravo les gars. Allez les gars. Allez, on y va.
The gap is 1 minute between the favourites and the guy in the front.
The yellow jersey was in danger, but he's once again leading the overall standings.
One and a half minutes lead for the head of the race over the favourites.
Courage les gars, allez plus vite. Bravo les gars. Continue. Allez, courage.
Allez les gars.
Allez les gars, courage. Continue.
He's got his teammates riding because in front there's a rider who's dangerous to him in the overall standings.
Allez les gars.
Only 5 kilometers left for the race leaders.
On y va, on y va. Allez les gars. Allez, courage.
The advance of the lead group should be enough to carry it to the end. The yellow jersey group is 1 minute from the head of the race. At less than 3 kilometers from the finish, no one has managed to gain the upper hand. If no one attacks, it will be decided in a sprint.
Allez, courage les gars.
Less than 2 kilometers from the finish. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the yellow jersey. The leading men will soon be under the red pennant. Who will come out on top today?
The breakaway is 1 kilometer from the finishing line.
Allez les gars, courage, allez, allez. Allez les gars, courage. Bravo les gars. Allez les gars. Courage. Allez les gars, courage.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hello everyone. The stage that is served up today reminds us of the great classics of cycling. The reason is that the finish is atop the renowned Mur de Huy, traditional decider of the Flèche Wallonne, with its sections of close to 20%. Certainly one of the toughest kilometers in cycling ever.
Okay, I'll protect him.
His teammates are already supplying the pace to finish in a sprint. The breakaway is forewarned.
Counter-attack attempt at the head of the peloton. Both puncher and rouleur, he can rely on his pace if he reaches the finish in a small group. His pace is not really an asset, and so, instead, he must rely on his capabilities as a rouleur puncher to gain the upper hand. He's primarily a teammate rouleur, even if he's not too bad on a sprint.
The peloton doesn't seem to be reacting. I think it may go all the way. His teammates are already supplying the pace to finish in a sprint. The breakaway is forewarned. The peloton doesn't seem to be reacting. I think it may go all the way. He too seems interested in the stage win. His teammates are also riding hard. You've won the intermediate sprint. Well done. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax. I'm going to take a nap. Wake me if something happens. Your breakaway companions look like they want to up the pace.
The stage's first climb is in sight for those at the front. A second category ascension where the first rider will score 1 point towards the mountain standings.
You still have 2 kilometers before reaching the climb. Watch out for him. He's the best puncher in the breakaway. The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. He launched the mountain sprint. Here's the positions over the last climb.
The front of the race is in the feed zone.
He's been dropped. The stage is too much for him.
Okay, we'll consume a feed. Okay, we'll consume a feed. Okay, I'm coming to protect you.
The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
The breakaway is managing to hold off the peloton. The gap seems to have stabilized. The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. The riders are on to the Côte d'Aref, a fourth category climb that is 2 kilometers long.
Understood. We'll take it easy whatever happens.
Yeah!
The breakaway will, no doubt, go all the way, lads. But watch out for attacks in the closing kilometers. His team is riding for the overall standings. The front of the race will struggle to widen the gap.
Okay, we'll relay flat out.
Allez les gars, courage.
Continuez comme ça. Vas-y, Gauthier. Allez, courage.
10 kilometres to the finish, and 2 more difficulties on the menu. The Mur Saint-Léonard and the Mur de Huy. The Mur Saint-Léonard. It's a little more than 1 kilometre with sections at around 14%. A first opportunity to whittle away a few riders before the Mur de Huy, the foot of which is less than 5 kilometres after the summit.
Allez.
Auf geht's. Komm schon. Lâche rien. Allez, vas-y. Ouais.
Another 500 metres and the riders will turn right and begin the ascent of the Mur de Huy.
On te suit. Allez, vas-y, fonce.
Ouais, courage, on continue.
And they're off. The punchers will now be able to sort it out between themselves.
He's just fallen. That may cost him some time in the overall standings. Collective fall. It may create gaps.
Well done, guys. It's a nice podium place today. I wasn't expecting such a performance on this stage. Once again, well done. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. Today's route is hilly and a leg breaker. perfect for attacking, which should suit the punchers, and an opportunity to lead the general classification. Even if the stage isn't really within our scope, you've...
Hello, everyone. Those thinking of victory in Sheffield, a city with a rich engineering heritage, will certainly need legs of steel. The furnaces will want to be well stoked when Holm Moss is reached, and the climbing continues almost all the way to the line. 3,400 meters of vertical gain, concentrated for the most part in the final 30 kilometers. A true English-style Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Attack in the peloton.
Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy for an attack.
He's attempting to get out of the peloton. He could be labelled as a puncher, but is also good in the mountains. However, his top speed can be described as lethargic.
You've got 1 minute 30 over the peloton. It turned out to be a good move.
He's a luxury teammate. He'll do his utmost to help his leader. He's a good climber.
You still have 2 kilometers before you reach the summit. His teammates are already supplying the pace to finish in a sprint. The breakaway is forewarned. It's looking good for the counterattack. You should perhaps wait for them. The finish is still a long way off. He's asked his teammates to manage the time gap. He no doubt wants to take the win in the sprint.
His best chance of victory is to try a breakaway from far out. The riders are getting close to a small climb. It does not count towards the climber's standings. The next points are in about 30 kilometers.
In the leading group, he's the best placed on the points classification. He seems interested in a stage win. That must be why his teammates are riding hard. He's the highest ranked rider for the polka dot jersey at the head of the race. You still have 2 kilometers before reaching the climb. You'll have to up the pace. His team is moving into the driving seat behind. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax. You were first over the top of the climb. That's good.
The leaders are onto a new short climb, but there are no mountain points. The organisers mustn't have found it difficult enough.
I'm going to take a nap. Wake me if something happens. You still have 2 kilometers before you reach the summit. Watch out! You'll soon have no more energy for an attack.
Keep going!
You were first over the top of the climb. That's good. still have 2 kilometers before reaching the climb.
Keep going! Keep going!
No let up. The intermediate sprint is looming for those at the front. Are there any sprinters left to take the points?
Come on!
You're approaching the intermediate sprint.
The breakaway is losing its lead. It's going to be difficult for them.
The end of the stage is not far off. Stay awake. It will soon start to move in the peloton.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
You still have 2 kilometers before reaching the climb. He's been dropped. The stage is too much for him.
Okay, I'll consume a feed. Okay, I'll consume a feed. Okay, I'll consume a feed.
You're over-revving. Reduce the tempo or you'll pay the price. The gap is growing. Don't worry. They're not well placed in the overall standings.
Okay, we'll consume a feed. Okay, we'll consume a feed.
A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer.
Okay, I'll wait for him.
The lead riders are entering the final 50 kilometers. Everything will be played out there, and it's the freshest amongst them who will gain the upper hand.
He's the new leader of the overall youth standings.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton.
The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
A final triptych for the riders. 3 small climbs where the best will have a go on the offensive if they want to win the stage.
Okay, we'll relay.
Last time checked with a breakaway. 1 minute.
Hang on! Keep pushing! Here we go! Here we go! Keep going! Keep going!
Here's the positions over the last climb.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
Okay, we'll consume a feed. Okay, I'll protect him. Okay, I'm coming to protect you.
The gap is growing. Don't worry. They're not well placed in the overall standings.
The front man is on to the final short climb. Will he have what it takes to go it alone?
The breakaway is unlikely to go all the way, guys. Watch out for counter moves.
The breakaway is managing to hold off the peloton. The gap seems to have stabilized.
Okay, if the pace is too fast, we won't insist.
Here we go! Here we go!
It's almost completely flat right to the finish, with one exception. A steep climb with a maximum slope of 13% before entering the final stretch.
Okay, I'm coming to protect you.
We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometers.
Faster!
10 kilometers. This will finish in a mass sprint. It's an opportunity to take points for the green jersey.
Okay, I'll consume a speed.
Here's the steep path. If a rider manages to make it to the top on his own, he should win. Afterwards, it's downhill to the finish.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration. I'll go full out on the relay.
Watch out, he's going on the attack. He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out. Attack at the head of the peloton. It isn't the moment to stare at each other. Breakaway over.
It is not always a good idea to be too many in a breakaway, as the others will not necessarily want to cooperate with us. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
A few minutes ago, he was the first across the finishing line. Here is today's stage winner! He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the green jersey of this stage. He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the polka dot jersey of this stage. He will be able to...
Huge congratulations for this win, guys. Our chances of victory were virtually nil. This... It's the final stage, guys. Today, it's a stage with cobbled sectors. It could get edgy. Positioning on the approach...
Hello, everyone. On this northern stage, a little over 15 kilometres of cobblestones were spread over 9 different sectors. These include those of Mont-en-Pével or LM to Wallers. Paris-Roubaix specialists know them well. However, past experience has shown us that race strategies differ greatly from spring to July. He could be labelled as a puncher, but is also good in the mountains. However, his top speed can be described as lethargic. The time gap with the head of the race is stable.
They're pulling the peloton. He must be interested in a stage win, because his teammates are setting the pace for the peloton.
The time gap with the head of the race is stable.
They're pulling the peloton. He must be interested in a stage win, because his teammates are setting the pace for the peloton. The gap is increasing. It's good to have placed riders in the breakaway. We don't need to set the pace. Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint.
The front runners will soon enter the feed zone. We will then be into the heart of the matter, with the first paved sectors.
Taken control of the overall standings. Great stuff! Keep it up! He is no longer the provisional yellow jersey. He asked his teammates to maintain the tempo. He must feel on form today. The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. "30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The upcoming sector is another name that's well known to the Paris-Roubaix faithful. Auchy-Breuvry-la-Forêt, also called Chemin des Abattoirs.
Okay, we'll relay.
The next two sectors are only separated by 1 kilometre. It's a sequence that should hurt.
He's in trouble. It's not sure that he'll be there for the sprint.
Okay, we'll relay hard. Okay, I'll consume a feed.
A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer.
Okay, we'll relay flat out.
Allez les gars, continue.
Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Allez les gars. Allez. Ouais. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça. Lâchez rien, allez. Allez les gars, courage. Lâchez rien, allez. Allez les gars. Courage, on continue. Allez les gars, continue là, plus vite. Plus vite.
Allez les gars, courage.
Change of leader in the overall youth standings. He's being left behind. It's good news for the overall standings. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars. Continuez comme ça.
There's movement at the head of the peloton. The penultimate sector is also the longest, 3,700 meters. The riders will still have to have something in reserve.
It is not always a good idea to be too many in a breakaway, as the others will not necessarily want to cooperate with us.
Allez les gars. Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars. Les voilà. Les voilà. Bravo les gars. Continuez comme ça. Allez. Allez les gars. Allez les gars.
Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Continue comme ça.
He's the best placed rider in the climber standings amongst the breakaway.
One sector left, 1,600 meters, LM to Wallers. Bunched peloton. Watch out, he's trying to get away on a counter-attack.
Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Continuez comme ça les gars.
The race leaders are coming up to the last sector. There will only be 4.5 kilometers left when they exit.
He's asked his teammates to ride you down. You're too dangerous.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
His teammates are chasing behind you. They're afraid of you for the stage victory. He's just punctured. He'll lose some strength for the sprint.
We can say that everything is going well for him at the moment. Here's the yellow jersey of this stage. He will be able to hang this jersey in his trophy room. Let's hope for him that he can add more. He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the green jersey of this stage. He's amongst the leading riders this year. Here's the polka dot jersey of this stage. He will be able to hang.
Great, guys! I wasn't expecting anything from this stage, and you bring home a podium place? Well done to you all! Hi guys, welcome to the briefing for this first stage. Today you are faced with a rare exercise that will delight pure climbers, an uphill prologue. It's a prologue that can already have significant impact on the general classification. That said, we must first focus on this climb. Let's be clear, our chances of getting into the top 10 are slim. Try to limit the damage.
The last rider to set off in this individual time trial is on the starting ramp. A few more seconds until he goes. Come on, let's give him a big hand.
Come on, don't set off flat out. It's a very steep climb. Take time to find your rhythm. If you've got something left in the tank at the end, you can accelerate. Come on, you mustn't panic, and you've got to manage your effort. Try to keep it steady. We'll see how things are at the first intermediate.
Vas-y, vas-y, fonce.
The intermediate time check is in 1 kilometer. Go! 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 Stay focused!
Allez, plus vite, plus vite.
Go! Dig deep! Go! Go! Come on! Only 1 kilometer left! Come on! It's almost over! Go! Right to the end!
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and without any difficulties. But be on your guard as the wind can lead to bordures. Normally, we'd put a cross through this stage. But with the wind, the outcome is unclear. It's up to us to seize the opportunity for a good result. Have a good stage.
Hello, everyone. Transition stages are often too hastily pigeonholed. Against expectations, they can sometimes shake up the heavyweights of the peloton. Riders will therefore have to be alert, particularly when crossing the Rhone Valley, where the wind may increase the chances of bourges. The riders have just set out and already there's an attack. A good ruler with not too bad a punch. He should still try to get away before the finish because he's not so fast in a sprint.
His teammates have already started the pursuit, no doubt aiming for a sprint finish. He's the fastest sprinter in the leading group. His teammates have already started the pursuit, no doubt aiming for a sprint finish.
The breakaway is approaching the intermediate sprint. It will be played out in Coustelet. The first 15 riders score points towards the green jersey.
Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint. His teammates have positioned themselves at the head of the peloton. They will no doubt manage the gap so as to finish in a sprint. The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily. He is no longer the provisional yellow jersey. The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute.
10 kilometers from the finish for the leaders. It's going to be complicated. The breakaway is under the red pennant. It's going to win.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. Today is a tiring route, where the closing kilometers should suit the punchers. It may be worth slipping into the early breakaway, because if we pick up enough King of the Mountains points, we can take the...
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today's stage is likely to stir the ambition of numerous riders. While the final stretch towards Chalmazel is demanding, it is not selective enough to interest just the pure climbers. The punchers could very well join the final battle. He was itching to have a go. He's already on the attack. A counter-attack already.
The breakaway threatens the overall standings. He's decided to get his guys to put their foot down.
He does well on short climbs, but he can't really rely on his sprint qualities to hope for a win. He's a good climber. The Col de Durbise is the third category climb. It should serve as a preliminary to the early breakaway.
still have 2 kilometers before you reach the summit. You've just taken the top spot of the climber standings. That's good. Keep it up. In front, he's the best placed in the overall standings. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
The next King of the Mountain summit will bring 5 points to the rider who's first over the top.
It's looking good for the counterattack. You should perhaps wait for them. The finish is still a long way off. The head of the virtual overall standings is ours. But don't get carried away. The stage is still long. You were first over the top of the climb. That's good. Change at the top of the provisional general standings. The leader's team will have to make its mark.
The breakaway is losing its lead. It's going to be difficult for them.
He's gone down. His teammates will no doubt wait for him.
At the front of the race, it's time to pick up something to eat.
There's not much going on. Isn't there someone who wants to liven up the race with an attack? He asked his guys to maintain the tempo. Watch him. He must feel able to win the stage. The breakaway is unlikely to go all the way, guys. Watch out for counter moves. The breakaway is 5 kilometers from the intermediate sprint. Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute.
Okay, we'll wait for him. Okay, if the pace is too fast, we won't insist.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
He's been dropped. The stage is too much for him.
There will be 5, 3, 2 and 1 point to be taken for the first 5 riders at the next King of the Mountain summit.
He's being left behind. It's good news for the overall standing.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
King of the Mountain sprint in 2 kilometers for the breakaway group. The breakaway is unlikely to go all the way, guys. Watch out for counter moves.
Allez les gars.
We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometers. The lead riders have finished with the Côte de Saint-Georges en Cousin. They still have 7 kilometers of flat tarmac before starting the final climb.
Okay, we'll consume a feed.
Allez les gars,
Okay, I'll protect him. Okay, I'm coming to protect you.
For the moment, no one has gained the upper hand. Everything should be played out on the final climb.
courage les gars, allez plus vite. Allez les gars.
We're off. The final climb has begun. He's moving onto the attack. It's inside the final kilometre that the slope really starts to rise. That's probably where a rider must edge clear if he hopes to claim victory.
Allez, ça va le faire.
He's turning the screw.
He takes the virtual lead of the overall standing.
Breakaway over.
Allez les gars, courage. Allez les gars, continuez comme ça.
The red pennant for the peloton.
Last kilometer. Come on, guys.
He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out.
The green jersey will not change any more today. The leader is ahead by enough points.
He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the polka dot jersey of this stage. It is a moment that he soon won't forget and which marks his career. Come on, let's applaud him once more.
Sei il migliore.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. Today is a tiring route, where the closing kilometers should suit the punches. You'll have to keep a close watch for riders who try to break away early on, because our lead in the polka dot jersey isn't big enough for us to be sure of retaining it tonight. We're not amongst the favourites for the stage, but there are ways to surprise the favourites and pull off a good result by attacking from far out. Good race to you all!